Washington State Youth in Action is a statewide leadership and advocacy program that works to empower youth at risk ages 14 to 24. We strive to bring youth voice to the system of care and public policy in order to make positive differences in the lives, communities, and the systems that serve youth. Youth in Action's 5 core values are youth leadership, partnership and collaboration, advocacy, evaluation and accountability, and peer support. We use all of these values to implement the work that we do in the community.
We support youth to be leaders in their community. We support them to do advocacy and provide youth voice to public policy and the system of care. We provide technical assistance to communities to engage youth in different service level activities. When we talked to youth about Youth in Action, a lot of them said they would love to participate in something like that, and that they wish that a group was out here like that they could access. And if there was a group out here like that, it would be easy for them to get involved. They would love to get involved. We train youth to do peer support and support each other and become certified peer counselors if they want to take our training. All of our youth leaders are certified peer counselors in Youth in Action.
In this project, Youth in Action was assessing the Skagit County region's readiness to sponsor youth leadership and recovery programs. Youth in Action did this by gathering feedback from youth leaders throughout the Skagit County region, and it hosted 9 interviews with youth leaders. In these interviews, we were asking youth for their feedback on strengths, challenges, and recommendations for their community on how to better support youth. These brave youth were willing to share their experiences and personal stories in hopes to better the systems that serve youth in Skagit County. We asked youth about strengths. We felt it was important to ask youth about strengths because it's key to know youth strengths in order for us to find positive activities to match with those strengths and to engage youth. When asking youth about their strengths, a lot of the youth shared that they had a passion in helping others.
I consider my strengths to be helping others. When someone comes to me saying that they need help, then I have them go through the situation with me and I see what I can do.
That some of my strengths are like talking to others and giving them encouraging talks and letting them know that they're not alone. I'll tell them my story and then I'll ask if they want to share their story with me, and then they end up sharing their story with me, and then it's just something that I can relate to them with, and I end up becoming really good friends with them, and they don't have those issues anymore that they did.
A lot of the youth that we had interviewed seemed to have very physical lifestyles. They expressed hobbies in outdoor activities and sports.
Yeah, I do horse lessons out at Lanes. This spring I got to go to this horse camp, and so I've been riding him for a while, and I've been taking lessons. So I think riding horses has helped me because it makes you feel like you're facing the world. Like you aren't alone, you have something with you, somebody or animal with you, and you're facing the world with that.
My personal strengths, I like running. I have good endurance. I can keep a good pace for a long time.
I've been kind of into basketball since the 2nd grade.
I mainly like taking my bike around town a lot, just getting to know the area.
It wasn't surprising that electronics and media seemed to be a common interest for a lot of the youth that we were interviewing.
Well, I'm really good at video gaming, so I mainly play video games.
A lot of youth that we interviewed also identified creativity as a strength. They used arts and their imagination as a tool to help express themselves.
Well, I have a big paracosm. A paracosm is kind of this elaborate fantasy world in your head. Well, for everyone, it's like their creative point where it's more than just
creativity or taking things out of the world and turning them into your own.
I have a talent with art. I like to draw. I like to sketch. You can draw what's in your mind or what's going on in your mind instead of saying it.
I like to paint.
I love to cook, crochet, knit, dance freestyle. I do duct tape wallets, duct tape flowers, I do a lot of duct tape projects. It has a lot of positive effects. It has, like, it makes me calmer, it makes me happier. I don't get anxious. I feel better.
That's my biggest thing is poetry and just writing in general.
I'm really good at creative writing.
One of the youth, when we were asking about strengths, had shared an experience in a community theater she had participated in.
Produce, direct, perform. They put on productions of a lot of different things, ranging from modern to Shakespeare.
During the interviews, we asked youth about culture. We felt this was an important question to ask because we commonly see people struggle to understand culture. We see a strong desire among service providers to be culturally competent. They want to understand culture and they do not want culture to be a barrier when serving the community. When speaking with the youth leaders, many of them did not identify with one specific culture. The youth leaders valued individuality and community involvement as prevalent pieces of their culture.
I think culture is mainly the diverse and activities of your community.
And also just being out in the community and helping others out is something that's a big part of like my culture, because if I can't see myself not helping others, I can't.
We asked youth if they felt accepted within their community. We felt this was an important question to ask because for some youth this may be a barrier to them engaging with the community. If a youth doesn't feel comfortable and accepted within their community, this can prevent some youth from engaging in positive activities around them. Many of the youth leaders shared that they did not feel accepted throughout their entire community. There were certain places where the youth did feel accepted, but for most of the youth that wasn't everywhere.
In some ways, yes, but in others, no. There is a lot of bullying at my school, and it's hurtful, but I do have a lot of friends here in Burlington, and it's helpful.
I would say I have my own group of friends that accept me for who I am.
Like, fitting into me isn't like being popular and having name brand clothes and the best phone, but like having a group of friends that are actually your friends and not like fake friends, as they say.
I'd like to just feel more comfortable with myself in the public of where I live. I just want to take a walk at downtown and not have to worry about if somebody's going to crucify me for who I am.
Some of the members of my community keep to themselves and they don't really like anybody. But there are others in my community that just love my family, love where I'm at, and don't want me to leave. It's kind of a 50-50 depending on where I'm at and who I'm talking to, that I feel accepted. People from around the neighborhood do put my family down, but I deal with it because I know it's not true. Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine by me. Some people keep to themselves, some don't.
When interviewing with the youth, we asked them about their support systems. We felt that it was important to ask youth about their supports because in order to identify what may be needed, we needed to identify what people and supports the youth had available first. A lot of the youth shared that they felt very supported within their families.
But I would definitely depend on my family for my support system. There's always somebody in the family branch that's willing to hear my problems.
I mainly go to my dad. I can talk to him about anything. I'm not just his daughter, I'm his best friend.
Sometimes I kind of get off with my mom and like it's hard to feel her support, but I know she tries to support me.
Just talking to my parents letting them know how I feel about things. Like if I can't like express how I'm feeling, like talking, I can write it down to my parents, and my parents will like be like, oh, this is how she's feeling, you need to fix this. Or if I don't want to ask something, I don't know how to ask it to them, I'll like write it down and they'll like read it.
My grandma Katie. I was going into state care, so my grandma came and rescued me.
It was very exciting to hear that a lot of the youth felt supported within their community. They felt like they had community supports that they could identify, and even great stories of success where they felt very supported by the community.
A lot of my teachers at my old school, my middle school, were there for me, and my counselor there was actually there for me too. And
Catholic Community Services tries to help a lot, and they do. My mom's work helps us out, and her friends,
and then when school comes up, I'll talk to like my counselors, school teachers. That really help a lot too.
I do remember a time when we do have a Boys and Girls Club here, and this was my first time going, and there's a lot of people there that bullied me. They came up to me and started harassing me and being really mean to me, and I went up to one of the people that were working there, and they dealt with it right then and there. They didn't wait till later, they dealt with it right in front of me. Didn't happen from there on. They apologized for being rude and mean to me over the years, and after that, they became one of my best friends.
A lot of the youth had shared that they felt very supported within their friend circles.
I definitely go to my friends, my close friends, because even though they might not have the exact words, or if I'm feeling down, they just know how to lift me up, because they know what makes me happy. And so that's like something that really keeps me up as well.
I have a bunch of friends because I've grown up here, and the past year or two I moved up to Alaska. I was up in Alaska for a while, but like I never lost touch with anybody down here because they were always here for me.
We asked the youth what made them feel supported and valued. We wanted to hear from the youth what qualities they valued in those who supported them. An important part to engaging with youth is understanding how to best support them.
They're there for me when I need them. They're able to listen and hear me out. You can calm me down when I'm upset or when I have panic attacks.
what if they're a good listener. I understand that I'm still considered somewhat a kid, but it bugs me when people just automatically think like, oh, she's a kid, like she doesn't know what she's talking about. Because some of the stuff I do talk about, I do know about, and it's like, if you just listen to me, then. So that's why I like good listeners, because they'll actually listen. They'll be like, oh, she doesn't have a kid brain. Okay.
With me, I'm an equalist, so I like, you know, if you're gonna listen to me, I'm more than happy to listen to you too. So I like the equal responses.
People who understand what you're going through and that can talk you through it. People who won't judge you.
Just somebody to talk to, somebody's there for me, and they understand what I'm going through, and they talk to me about it.
Or they want to hear what I'm saying. Like they're interested in my problems and wanting to give me feedback, which it feels good to be needed.
What makes me feel important is when people come to me for help. That makes me feel like I'm actually worth it and I can do something.
During the interviews, we asked about the challenges that youth were experiencing within Skagit County. It's critical to ask youth about the challenges that they are experiencing, because oftentimes youth struggle with unseen or unaddressed challenges that are commonly overlooked by those around them. In order to support youth in overcoming these challenges, we need to listen to their experiences and expertise. We asked the youth about challenges. One of the most reoccurring challenges that we had heard was bullying in both the schools and the community.
Last summer, I had a group of friends that I had recently gone through a breakup, and they're like, oh, we'll be on your side, we understand where you're coming from, and then one of them turned around and started dating him, and then they started like calling me all these kinds of names. When they like started telling me to drop off the face of the earth and I should kill myself and saying that kind of stuff to me, it really got to me. and it just kind of made me feel like there was no point in trying because I didn't have any friends. I just didn't know who to talk to because my mom was asleep at the time, and I didn't want to wake her up and bother her, and so I just felt worthless, I guess, and didn't see a point in anything. So I did try to kill myself, but I didn't tell my mom about it. And I kind of like, when I woke up, I realized that I made a really stupid decision because I could have took my own life. And I'm glad I didn't because a lot of things happened in the last year that I'm pretty happy that happened. This year, the person that told me, things started happening to them. And they also tried the same thing I did, but it didn't work because their parents found out and took them to the hospital. And the person ended up texting me and telling me they were sorry for what they did and they know how I felt.
I feel like the kids that are being bullied are the ones that need the attention because there are so many kids out there that want to commit suicide, that want to harm themselves because they're being bullied, and it's something that's not okay. Like, no one should have to feel like they need to hurt themselves because of others' words.
If you look a certain way, you're pretty judged for it. I mean, it's like I never knew this girl on a personal level, but she was heavily bullied for her because she was overweight. And I've had friends or people I've known who've made fun of her right in front of me, and I don't see why it's fun or even right to, downsize somebody for something that they probably can't even help. I'll be honest, I just felt the peer pressure and just kept my distance. And I mean, I'll admit it, I've actually, made fun of people on the side of friends just to save my own life. I'd like to say I'm sorry and that I wish I would have stood up for you. I know what you were being made fun of for wasn't your problem, it wasn't your choice, but it was other people's opinion. It's not right, it doesn't matter. Just think you could do better than the bullies. You could be the boss of it one day.
Up until my 9th grade year, I've been bullied. My friends are too afraid to go to the teachers and they get bullied constantly at school. I had to deal with that, and I went to teachers and told them what was going on. And nobody would listen. They would say, oh, I'll talk to the student, and never talk to them. Nobody talks to the bullies. It's one of those things that they're afraid if they try to stand up for themselves, they're just going to get hurt even more. Physical and mental and cyber. That's the 3 big ones, and my friends get all of them. They would push me around. I've actually been beaten up at school to where I'd be in the bathrooms hiding because I was so scared. My parents said they would talk to the teachers and talk to the principal, and they did, but they still wouldn't do anything.
They don't try and help, they just kind of send you on your way if you come to them about something.
When asking about challenges, youth also shared that they felt discrimination within their community.
And for some reason, I don't understand this, but the Hispanics and the white kids often don't get along. I don't understand why. They're like, oh, well, there's too many of them in Washington, or there's too many of them in Mount Vernon. And it's like, no, there's not. There's just as many Hispanics as there's white people. And there's really no difference. And it just gets on my nerves because it's about personality, not what color your skin is or what your eyes look like and stuff like that.
I would say there's some people with certain, beliefs that look down upon me for certain things that I am. Well, mainly that, not everybody I know is a bisexual atheist, so the first time I decided to hold hands with a guy in high school, that I got a lot of weird looks. I mean, people are kind of afraid to show that in front of the public. It definitely didn't make me feel like an equal. It made me feel like less of a human.
With some of the kids at my school that have disorders like mentally disorders, like they had autism. And so I've seen like them being bullied, and I've like straight up told them that it wasn't okay and that they needed to stop, because if they didn't stop, then I was going to do something about it.
Because I have like schizophrenia, and they say that motivation, like lack of motivation, is a possibility of a symptom. I don't think people understand that much. Stigma can mean a lot of different things, like just about any word. So it's like a judgment of some sort. It's definitely a possibility that with less of that stigma, then it could be better.
It seemed to be a common challenge for a lot of the youth that we had spoke to within their friend circles and their schools that drugs were often present and easily accessible.
My mom used to be an alcoholic addict. She's in recovery right now. And I have done drugs myself, and so has my sister. And a few of my friends do drugs, and it is a big problem in the community, especially Burlington. It's very noticeable, and anywhere you go, you can basically find any drug.
I mean, I have contacts in my phone that I can easily get drugs from. Well, mainly marijuana, alcohol. There's this new thing I heard going around the high school called triple C's. I'd say meth and heroin. I've never seen it in this area.
My friend Sierra, she is right now done meth, and she's right now going to an outpatient rehab center. And then my other friend Stevie, who is hooked on Molly, and he's trying to get help for that right now.
With some of the closest friends that I've like become with, have like chosen doing drugs or drinking alcohol, and I've like had to like step away from them, even though I don't want to, because like I love them as a friend. It's just like I can't be around that.
Well, I know some people definitely do get addicted, and I know from my mom's past that it's really hard to get off of a drug once you're addicted to it. And I know that if you do get addicted to a drug, you'll do anything to try and find it or to try and get it. And that's where a lot of youth end up robbing stores and stealing things from stores and selling it to get drugs.
Some of the youth we interviewed had shared that their friends and their schoolmates were struggling at home. There was abuse and neglect that was not being spoken about that was happening inside of their homes.
Nobody's talking about the constant abuse they go through. I've seen my friends come to school with bruises before from their dads and their moms hitting them constantly, or them being shoved down the stairs.
For what?
During the interviews, we noticed a common pattern that youth oftentimes felt more safe talking to their peers and their friends rather than adults. This is not a new concept to Youth in Action. Oftentimes we find that youth are more comfortable speaking with their friends. We asked some of the youth that we interviewed why this might be, and they gave some valuable insights onto the benefits of youth peer support.
I've actually asked quite a few of my friends why they haven't. They've always told me I would understand their situation more because not a lot of adults have been through it. And I've been through so much, they normally come to me and ask me, and I can normally give them the answer. So I've had some previous experience with a lot of suicidal thoughts and stuff, and when my friends are coming to me with that kind of stuff, I always talk them through it and talk them out of it. But every time they try to go to an adult, they just say, you need to go to counseling.
When interviewing the youth, we asked them about what supports were currently available in their community. We felt that it was important to ask them about their current supports and resources that were available to youth in Skagit County. This helped us map out what resources were available to youth and identify the gaps where the community might need more support. A lot of the youth had shared positive experiences that they had had at community programs.
Not last year, but between my 6th and 7th grade year, I did the summer reading program at the Mount Vernon Library. I know there's a Boys and Girls Club.
Well, I know we do have the Teen Oasis Center and the public library. Anybody can always go there and hang out. But I think those are more like they're really modest, and I don't feel like teens feel like they can express who they really are in places like that.
Youth also shared that some of the communities had resources available for youth who are struggling with mental health challenges and chemical dependency.
Well, I know the Reach Center, it's kind of more centered towards adults, but teens can go there to just hang out. And, like, they have free Wi-Fi and board games, and they have a sitting area, and everyone there is really nice.
Yeah, either Compass Health or Catholic Community Services.
Through the feedback, we had also learned that there were some youth programs available throughout Skagit County.
I know we have a spot in town where kids go hang out at. The spot is where this place where kids can go hang out, play pool, play video games, hang out with their friends, and they'll have food there. So the place that the resources at in Stanwood is the spot.
I go every Wednesday to youth group, and our youth group's called FXN, and we go to the North Cascade Church down here in Cedro, and a bunch of high schoolers and middle schoolers get together and we just hang out, and it's pretty fun.
We were excited to hear that some of the schools have some really awesome leadership programs for youth, especially to help youth who are struggling with challenges.
Yeah, we'll have like conversations in class about what's going on in the community, and it's just like a general like debate kind of about what people's opinion is about things. It's called leadership in our school. We just give them encouraging, like we'll let them know that like they're not alone. Nice. And we help them out with like their issues, and if like they're having a really difficult day, we'll like go and talk to them, and we'll get out of the class to talk to them, and so you don't have to feel alone on it. And we'll like do encouraging events and like just talk about like how bullying's not okay, and how just because you have like a certain like mental disorder or whatever, that you're not alone, that there's other people in the school that have the exact same issue as you. We also give to people as well, like if we know that certain families can't afford like to go on a trip or to go on like to get clothes or to get food, we'll like do a fundraiser and we'll collect the money, and then we'll give that money out to that family.
That's great.
And so it just makes all of us feel better about ourselves, knowing that we can help someone who's in need of stuff. And it's also just something that's good for everyone to learn how to do. We try to for the homeless people, we'll try to do food drives for them and give them food and clothes and shelter. So we'll fundraise and do stuff for them. And we'll do stuff for OSO and all the other natural disasters that happen.
Some of the youth had shared that there were art programs available in the community to youth.
And I know at Burlington, they have an Artapalooza festival, and students paint and draw and do these fun crafts and stuff, and they have an art show. I went to it and I looked at a lot of the art, but I have not submitted art. I was thinking about it, but I think I might wait till my senior year to do it.
It was awesome to see the youth get so excited and share so many cool opportunities for youth to hang out and have fun in the community. The activities that the youth had identified included both low cost and free options.
There's a skating rink on Friday nights. There's bowling, movies.
I know a lot of people go to the mall and just hang out.
They have parks and stuff, and skate parks and the roller rink and the mall and stuff for people to hang out at. So I don't really know of anything else.
A lot of examples are wonderful trails, especially.
I would definitely say there's activities out here, parks that we have here. I'd say are well suited with, places to, play sports and exercise, and we have plenty of gyms. So I would say the opportunities out here, you got to be willing to find it.
We asked youth leaders for the recommendations on how to better support youth in Skagit County. We asked youth if there was events, activities, or resources that were needed in the community that could potentially better engage youth. This also helped us identify the gaps that there were and what needed to be filled in order for Skagit County to better support the youth. Many of the youth leaders were very interested in seeing community-based events that brought people together.
Not necessarily education, like school education, but like something fun. Like the library, how they have like the summer reading program. Like stuff like that, that's experiential, but not necessarily like educational in every single way you need.
Definitely more outside events, especially that are held at like parks and stuff. Like things the library does, like they have those community events at the library. Bring more in depth and have them outside, like community barbecues or community rec days where there's basketball and then baseball and then have a bunch of different sports going on, and being able to engage the community and just have fun.
I don't know. Like people actually doing things like activities like riding quads or like hanging out and not being around the drugs and stuff.
I think like maybe if there were just more like not big carnivals, but like just small things that can be fun. Like I know like Seattle's having the Pride Fest, and I know that would be a lot of fun to a lot of teens here in Burlington, because I know many teens that are part of the LGBT community. But music festivals would be really good, because pretty much every teen has a connection with music.
You could also have video game tournaments.
We had gotten feedback that there needed to be more spots for youth to hang out, ones that were engaging and safe.
Probably like parks or like buildings where like kids can go and play like video games and all that.
Like, not the YMCA because it's really expensive, but like somewhere where teens can go and like hang out and swim and have fun would be really great.
What about for something for youth and their and adults to have fun, and a giant community playhouse / community center for adults and children,
But like an arcade.
We asked the youth what they would like to do in their community as leaders. We wanted to hear what positive changes the youth leaders would make in the community. Oftentimes, youth leaders are disregarded because they're thought to be too young and inexperienced. If we listen to youth voice, then we can find the commonalities in the vision of leadership for the community. All that youth need is encouragement and a support system in order for them to create positive changes within their community. All the youth that we had interviewed were very passionate about giving back to their community.
I changed how people live, like homeless people. Because I have a friend Tim who's homeless, and he used to sleep on the bridge, under the bridge with rats and diseases everywhere. Talk to the mayor. Tell them that there's people living out here that are homeless. We need to help them. We need to put together a shelter or something for them. They don't realize it yet. They don't really care, and they don't realize it. If you know, you know, and you try to do something about it, that's good, but a lot of people don't know about it.
I would help the people that suffer with depression, with anxiety, with all these mental issues. Like, I might not have all the mental issues that they do, but I would definitely help them with it. And I would have let them know that I'm here for them no matter what. Like, even if they're making poor decisions, I will still be here to listen. I won't do the decisions with them, but I will be here when they're sober. I will be here to talk to them, listen to them, let them know that they're not the only ones.
I would also definitely try and change the amount of drug paraphernalia and gang violence there is in Burlington, because it really affects our youth. And it's something that's not safe for anybody in the community.
I'd probably want to change like the whole like how people think nowadays, like being in a gang and stuff is cool. Because at my school, I've seen a lot of people that are like talking about gangs in like class and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna go do this after school. You should come with us. Or did you hear about like the shooting the other day? Like now this gang's gonna jump this kid. And I would probably like tell the younger kids when they get in like middle school and high school to like try as hard as they can to stay away from that. Because I've seen like family members and stuff get messed up in that, and it's not pretty.
I want to be able to make an impact on where I live to hopefully maintain a better lifestyle. It makes me feel like I'm being a part of something and doing one small step to create something bigger.
The youth had shared some very inspirational messages of hope for youth throughout the community.
Express what you love. Express your passions, who you are. I mean, it's not easy to do when a lot of times you can be ostracized for it, depending on who you are and what you like. But as hard as it can be to express that sometimes, just do it anyways, regardless of what attention you receive. I mean, and that, to me, I think is making the difference, is not being afraid to show people this is who I am.
Don't be afraid. It's one of the biggest things that everybody has is fear. Fear is just something that's in the mind. If you can look past it and get over it and climb the mountain and do something about it, then fear won't exist.
Know that you're not alone and that there are people that can help you. Yeah, you don't have to face things alone.
Youth in Action had gathered valuable feedback from the youth leaders that we conducted interviews with and talked to in the community. With this feedback, Youth in Action hopes to offer suggestions and recommendations to Skagit County on how to better support youth leadership and recovery opportunities. Youth in Action hopes to meet with the community and create a plan to implement programs and activities focused on youth leadership and recovery within the Skagit County region. These are the top 10 recommendations given to us by youth leaders throughout Skagit County. Create youth leadership programs throughout Skagit County. Host more community activities and events that are engaging to youth, such as music festivals, barbecues, and youth summer programming. Create peer support programs for youth, both informal and formal programs. Implement trauma-informed care into youth serving systems. Create safe and fun spaces for youth to hang out and engage in positive activities. Create shelters for youth who are experiencing homelessness, especially in rural areas of Skagit County. Create treatment programs for youth who are struggling with chemical dependency and addiction. Both inpatient and outpatient treatment services are needed. Create diversion programs for youth who are involved in gangs. Create programs to help support youth struggling with challenges such as abuse, suicidal feelings, and bullying. Address the challenges with discrimination among youth. This discrimination includes racism, homophobia, ableism, and mental health stigma. After interviewing with the youth leaders and speaking with youth leaders and community partners across Skagit County, we are very excited to continue this work in creating a youth leadership and recovery network throughout Skagit County. Skagit County is a region full of passionate youth leaders and community members. Youth in Action will need the help of those leaders to help create and implement a plan to better sponsor youth recovery and leadership opportunities throughout Skagit County. We believe that when all the members of the community's needs are met, the community is overall happier and healthier. Please come join us in creating a happy, healthy, welcoming community for all those who live within Skagit County. With your help, we can make this happen. We can be the change that we want to see.